In this video, we learn how to cut and sew two pieces of fabric together and finish the edges. For this, we will need a piece of fabric measuring over 20 inches by 8 inches, measuring tape, scale, water-soluble marker, beaded pins, and a pair of scissors. Before we start, it is important to understand the grain of any fabric to determine the length and width. Here is an easy way to do this. Take a folded piece of fabric and place it flat. Gently try and stretch the fabric. The length is the one which does not have any stretch, and the width stretches marginally. Now you are ready to block the fabric. Keep the piece of fabric folded into two with the right side on top. Start by measuring 10 inches along the length and mark a point A. Measure 8 inches along the width. Mark a point B. From point B, mark vertical point C at a distance of 10 inches. Adjust the point C by measuring 8 inches along the width from point A. Now with a water-soluble marker and a scale, connect the points with straight lines to form a 10 by 8 rectangle. Use beaded pins to hold together the fabric inside the lines you just marked. This will keep the edges together. Do this before you start cutting. Now cut the excess fabric carefully along the marked lines. Once you finish cutting, remove all the pins. You will now have two pieces of fabric that are identical in size. Flip over the fabric and match the right sides together. Pin them along the sides. You are now ready to sew the two pieces together. Place the fabric pieces under the presser foot. Align the fabric edge with the half-inch marking on the needle plate and lower the presser foot. Ensure the stitch pattern knob is set on A and then set the stitch length between 2 and 3. Start with few forward stitches and then press the reverse stitch selector and stitch back to the top to lock in the stitches. Release the reverse stitch selector and continue stitching all the way to the bottom of the length. Stop the machine. Turn the balance wheel manually towards you to insert the needle. Press the reverse stitch button and sew a few reverse stitches. Release the button and continue sewing till the end to lock the stitches. Once you are done, lift the presser foot and trim the thread with the thread cutter. After sewing the two pieces together, the raw edges of the fabric needs to be finished using the zigzag stitch. To do this, go to the stitch pattern selector and set it on C and move the stitch length selector to 1. Place the fabric edge aligning with the right side of the foot groove. Turn the balance wheel towards you and see how the needle goes down outside the fabric and then down into the fabric. If this is aligned neatly, continue sewing. On reaching the end of the fabric, lift the presser foot, remove the fabric and trim the excess thread. You now know how to cut and sew two pieces of fabric and finish the edge using the zigzag stitch. Practice these two methods till your finished piece has a neat look. This will go a long way in adding finesse to your creations.